Hey everyone, this is some nerdy guy back again with another video, and today's video is one that a bunch of YouTubers are a topic that a ton of YouTubers are dwelling on right now, and I'm gonna jump right on the bandwagon, and that is Xbox 360 games getting super expensive out of nowhere. Well, I guess not like super out of nowhere. I think most people that are in the loop knew about the store closing down, but I'm not really sure what it was that sparked everybody collecting it now. Because I don't think the store's closing until later this year, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe it's this month. I don't know. I thought it was like in August or something like that. But prices are already like just like going up like crazy. Certain copies of games are just getting completely scarce. Going on eBay and typing in certain games there used to be like 10-20 copies of, now only have like 3 listings for a disc only copy, and the only complete copy is like $100. It's like, what is happening? I don't know. So I got the very common case of the FOMO, and I went out and I just started searching for 360 stuff, and I came out pretty good. I made out like a bandit, not gonna lie. A lot of the stores that I went to, I did like a couple GameStop stores. There's a store chain around here called The Exchange, and not Game Exchange, it's just called The Exchange. I don't know if there's really a difference. Maybe it's like the same company, but they have different names. Whatever. I've mentioned them a couple times. And then some local stores. And some of the local stores, well, one in particular, I found tons of stuff at. So this is my stack right here, and I'm just kind of, well, you can already see what one is because it says what the title is on both sides, but I didn't want to give away everything. But that is my stack, which is pretty hefty. But I got all of these for super cheap, nowhere near what they're going online for right now. So without further ado, I'm just going to start these first two. I did get at GameStop, and there's one more I also did find through GameStop, but I'm saving kind of the really good ones for last, just because you know, gotta build up the suspense. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, we got Silent Hill Homecoming. This was only like $10, so I think it was 12, but I have the pro membership, so it was a little bit discounted, so that was cool. And then Tenshu Z. This one was only $10 as well. It's not complete, but I figure for $10, and right now I think this is going upwards of like 30 right now. So I was happy with that. I cannot complain. Happy with that. And then most of these all came from one of the local stores I went to. Well, I shouldn't say super local. It was like an hour drive. But I like going out to different stores that I haven't been to in a long time just to see what they have. Because the ones around me, I'll go on like a weekly or bi-weekly basis, and they usually always have the same stuff unless there's a trade-in. So I wanted to see if I could find other stuff, and I walked away with tons of stuff that I was looking for, so it was really cool. And some of them are the more rare ones that I'll show later. So first we got, Operation Flashpoint Red River. I didn't realize this was like a $30 game, and I got it for only $10. I kept the stickers on here just so I can compare the prices and everything. It's very blurry. What if I cover my face? Will that help it focus? Yeah, a little bit. But that was $10. It's a $30 game. Naughty Bear Gold Edition. I've been meaning to get this. It's one of those things where Xbox 360 has been so cheap for such a long time, where I just kept thinking, oh, I'll get it eventually. Xbox 360 games aren't going anywhere. I'll get it eventually. And then, of course, everybody else was probably thinking the same thing. And then everybody's like, oh, shit. And then everybody trying to grab it all at once. But this is the one that comes with all the bonus content and everything. DLC is the gold edition. And it looks like the Kill Bill movie cover, which is really cool. I got this for, it says 21, but knocked off $1 for me. I got it for $20. And I think this is going upwards of like 50 right now. 45, 40-ish, 50-ish. Something like that. So I was happy to get my hands on that. I think it's on the PS3 as well. Maybe the gold edition isn't, but I think the base game is on PS3. This one, I just went out on a limb. I think this was like $12 or $13 online, but I got it for $7.99. But that's full auto. It's a Sega game, so I don't know. I took a chance on it. It looked like a fun racing, battling type game. So there's that. So I didn't want to like make it the video or like say that I'm only getting these because it's like a bunch of these are worth more. Because I did find a lot that still aren't really worth anything, but they're games that I was interested in, and I figured get them now while they still are cheap, because you never know, like certain games go up in price like automatically for some reason, and then some of them have just like a gradual incline where just it's still like relatively cheap. It'll go from like 10 to 15, 15 to 20, but then eventually within like the next year or two, maybe it'll be like a $50 or $60 game. You just never know. So some of these I got while they were cheap, and still are cheap on eBay. They haven't gone up really at all. But then I got Morph X. This is one of them. I think it's still only like a $10 game. I got it for $8. So can't complain there. It is complete with the manual. Let's see what else we got here. We got Shift 2 Unleashed. Is this a Need for Speed game? I think it's still within the Need for Speed series, I want to say. I can't remember. Yeah, okay, I'm stupid. It says at the bottom right there. I thought it was going to be up here. But I got this for only $5, and I think it's like a $20 game. I think, somewhere around there. I can't remember all of the values off the top of my head. But I just like to show how you get excited when you find a good deal. So like, I'm sorry that I'm emphasizing the price so much, but just being able to find a lot of these for dirt cheap, it just got me really excited. This one I've seen tons of different YouTubers talk about. Well, I shouldn't say the one that mainly was talking about it was Mr. Rightway, and I also found this for only $5. But this is Overwatch Fighters. It's a Taito game, which I thought was interesting. It's basically like an Ace Combat flight sim, not flight sim, but like flight combat game. So for only $5, I will take a chance on that. Brutal Legend, which this is really funny because I got to my car when I bought this, and I didn't look at the plastic at all, but all I saw right here was in this Sharpie was Jack Black, and I was like, there is no way that I just got a signed copy, like signed by Jack Black. But it is not. It just says "Love You, Mom," with Jack Black, because obviously the main character is voiced by Jack Black. But just, I guess the person bought this for their mom and emphasized that Jack Black is in the game or something. She must have been a Jack Black fan. This is a game I just have never picked up. It's been around for years. I've known about it for years. And a lot of people really like it, especially if you like metal music or rock music in general, which I do. I'm not like super big metalhead, but I do have appreciation for it, and I do know some of the musicians, and I do like some of the music. So I figured for only $5, might as well pick it up. I know this one is also on PS3. Yeah. This one, Lord of the Rings Battle for Middle-earth 2. I know this is a fan favorite game, and I know that I'm pretty sure EA lost the license to Lord of the Rings, so a lot of the games have been taken off of the stores and everything, so this one's probably going to become more harder to find. I'm not really super big into Lord of the Rings, I'll be honest, but this game still looks pretty cool, like an RTS strategy game. It's pretty cool. Not that I dislike Lord of the Rings, I just never got into it as a kid, so as an adult I'm just kind of like indifferent about it. I've seen the first 2 movies. I know Return of the King is like the best one, but I just never watched all of them all the way through. But I will eventually. I do have like it. I want to at least have an appreciation for it, so I would like to watch all the movies just to say that I've seen them. But yeah. And then this one, oh yeah, that was $17. I think it's like a $20 game right now, so not too crazy. Then this one, the pricing on this one has been really weird, because like some copies are, well, I think from the last time I looked it up, that they were like disc only copies that were like 10-ish bucks. buck. I always say buck, $10-ish, 10. They're $10, $10, whatever. And then all of a sudden it's like 70, 50, something or other. I got it for 10. But that is Crash Time Autobahn. Oh my gosh, Autobahn Pursuit. Only $10. So, hey, I didn't have to pay. Even if it doesn't go up that crazy, I only paid $10 for it, and it looks like a fun crashing racing. I like being able to drive a car and then crash it as part of the game, because most of the time you're not supposed to crash it, but I like crashing cars. I think it's fun. So, and then we'll get through some of these here. Dark Void. I got this one for only $5. I remember a friend let me borrow this a long time ago, and it's one of those things where I was like, oh yeah, dude, thanks for letting me borrow this. I've never played it. So, but for $5, Capcom game, action, like 3D shooter, or sorry, third person shooter. Obviously it's in 3D, but third person shooter game, for only $5. So can't go wrong. Anything that's $5 that's not a sports game can't really go wrong. Stuntman Ignition, again, racing and being able to crash your cars as part of the mechanic and not getting penalized for crashing. Yeah, cool stuff there. That one was $10. Blades X. Again, I'm going after like all these like 3D adventure, platformer, action, beat 'em up type games. These are always the ones that this was only $10. These are always the ones that people are always scouring whenever these store closings and FOMO stuff starts happening. These are usually the type of games people are after. This one's also on PS3, I believe. So most of the time I go after exclusives, but from what I remember, a lot of the games ran better on the 360 anyways over the PS3. So, and sometimes I like getting both versions and kind of like comparing them to see which one looks better to me or what feels better. The Vin Diesel game, Wheelman, that's not Chronicles of Riddick or whatever. This was only $6. And at first I was like, man, I wonder, I'm kind of guilty of it sometimes. If I'm in a retail store, like this was from that exchange place, I'll pull out my phone and just start looking up because I don't want to get ripped off, obviously. I don't want to spend too much on a game, even if I think it's a good deal. I want to make sure that I'm getting a good deal. And this was going for like 15, I think, and I got it for $6. So I figured for that much, might as well just take a chance on it. This was another one that Mr. Rightway had mentioned, and Pete Dorr as well. I watched both of their videos on what's been going on with the 360, and this one popped up in both of their lists, which they both have made multiple videos about the 360 recently, but this one really stood out to me and it looked really fun, and that is 99 Nights 2. And I believe this is the game that the meme came from with Konami at E3, where the guy is just like, 1 million troops. 1 million, and he's like waiting for people to applaud for him, and nobody does until he makes that like dramatic pause, and like I think he asks for people to clap. He's like, applause, and then everybody claps for him finally, which I thought was really funny. I love watching that from time to time just because of how awkward it was. It's really funny. This one's actually not in a 360 case. I think this is an original Xbox case or just a green DVD case. So I'll have to take out a less desirable game that I have and swap the cases. But yeah, 99 Nights 2, and that was $20. Let's see here, get down to the wire. This one, Mr. Rightway was also just talking about this, and I have the standard version of it, but not the cool one that comes with the art. I think it's an art book or a graphic novel. I can't remember. Let me take it out of here. Pretty sure. Yeah, it's like a manga. That's really cool. I didn't realize it was done in manga style because they label it as a graphic novel, so I didn't really know what to expect with that. But it's Enchanted Arms, and it still comes with the box and everything. So I have the standard version of this, but I didn't know it had this type of version that came with a little manga book. But I saw Mr. Rightway find one, and I was like, oh, I kind of want to find that. So one of the first stores I went to was the Exchange, and they happened to have one, and it was only 15 bucks. So I just snagged it. I'll probably hold on to both and kind of play the game. Basically, I'll hold on to my regular copy, and if it does go up in price, I'll sell that, keep this one, or trade it and keep it, whichever comes first. I'll show this one first. We got Raiden 4, or Raiden, however you want to pronounce it. This, I believe, came out on the Switch and the PS4 and the PS5. They did like a remix version of it, which is really cool. I got this for $25, and it's still like a $40 game. And I think that's because, if I'm not mistaken, the other two, like the other version of the game doesn't come with this. But there's this cool soundtrack that comes with it, CD soundtrack, which I thought was really, really neat. Has the manual and everything. Shoot 'em ups, I love shoot 'em ups. So to have one on the 360, can gain some achievements for it on my Xbox account, so that's pretty cool, I guess. So yeah, we got Raiden 4. Man, it's already 16 minutes long. This one, I have the rest in the series, and I'm pretty sure all of them are on the Xbox, if I'm not mistaken. I think I have at least the first two on the Xbox, and I think I have the third one on the PS3, or vice versa. I can't remember. But I did not have this. This was the last thing I needed. And this is all the DLC, excuse me, all the DLC and the expansions for the game, which obviously when the store closes, you're not going to be able to get that anymore. But that is Fear Files. So I definitely wanted to get this. I know this was also a Mr. Rightway's thing, and I completely forgot about this because I thought that there was a version of the first game that came with this like packed in with it, but I don't think that's true. So obviously I didn't have this, and I wanted to go out and get it. It's $30, so that was a little bit more expensive. I mean, the last one I showed was just $25, but they're going to keep going up from here. I still have 5 games left to show. But like he had also said in his video, anything survival horror is always collectible. So if you have interest in it, get it now before it's too late. Like anything Silent Hill, because I know Downpour and Homecoming, they were both of those games that came out in that era. Like nobody really liked them. The fan base was very negative towards those games. But if you're a collector of those series, or you like that genre of game, it doesn't matter. It'll go up in price regardless, just because, which is kind of strange to me. Because if it's bad, why do people want it so much? But you know, it's just collectability. That's just how it is. So yeah, that's why I ended up getting Homecoming. So I'm like, if I even remotely have just like a thought of wanting to play it, I just want to make sure that I have it, so I don't have to go out later and pay quadruple the price. Even though it probably won't get that extreme, but you know, it does happen. Like the first 4 Silent Hill games are over $200 now for each one of them. So it's kind of crazy. This next game I also did not expect to find for so cheap, because even the exchange store that I frequent pretty often has this game at like $60, $70, I think. And I got this one for $30. It doesn't have the manual. And to give a little backstory, I guess for me personally, I used to have this game on the Wii, and I thought the Wii version sucked. And it probably does suck, and this version is probably way, way better. But that is the Simpsons game. I'm a big Simpsons fan. As you can see, I'm wearing my Bart shirt. But I've always, as a kid, you know, you only get certain games as a kid, or a certain amount of games. And I had the Wii way before I had an Xbox 360. So I ended up getting the Wii version of the Simpsons game. And for whatever reason, I think it was the controls with the nunchuck and the Wii remote. I just wasn't really feeling it. I thought it was kind of clunky and weird. But I know the PS3 and the Xbox 360 version of the game is way, way better. And anything Simpsons, for whatever... It's so weird, because a lot of people love the Simpsons that I just didn't think that many people still liked them that much. But I definitely grew up watching the Simpsons, and I love the Simpsons. So it's cool to have one of the more liked games. Like this and Hit and Run are like the 2 big ones. And of course the arcade game, but that's a whole beast of its own. Okay, now we're down to the wire. The top 4 value-wise, or rarity-wise, games that I ended up finding. First one being Darkest of Days. Now, this one, I remember seeing this all the time, and I just thought it was a generic war shooter, like first-person shooter. I'm just like, this looks kind of lame. I don't really know anything about it. Didn't know it was like a $60 game. And after looking into what the game is really like, going through like history and like different battles and wars through history, which is kind of cool. It's almost like time travel, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, I ended up getting it for only 30. Sorry, I lost my train of thought there for a second. I ended up getting it for half the price, for $30. It is not complete though. It doesn't have the manual, but hey, for getting it half price, I will definitely be happy with that. So that was cool. And that was at a local game store. And then this was the last one I got from one of the local game stores, and the other two here are from GameStop. This one I could not believe. When I saw the price tag, I was like, oh, that must not be the right game. And I was like, no, it is the right game. I found a score, but that is for X-Men Origins Wolverine on the 360. And I already have it on PS3, but I was like, you know what? I'll get both versions, see which one I like better, and maybe get rid of one. I'll probably still end up keeping both of them. But this was only $32. And this one is upwards of like 80 right now. And I thought that was insane. I was like, oh man, I thought this was like the best deal. Besides the very last one I'm going to show, which is also I got for a very good deal. But yeah, I was very happy to find that. And this one is also complete, has the manual. So this game, this second to last one, what I reiterated before, horror games are always like some of the most collectible. I mean, a lot of it is there are a lot of horror fans. There's a lot of horror game fans. It's a very popular genre, but also coincides with like people that stream and do let's plays of games. And some of those let's players and streamers are very popular, which makes the game more sought after. Blah blah blah. You know how it always goes with YouTubers and everything like that. And I also have this on the PS3, but again, I'll kind of make my own decision if I feel like one's better than the other, or if I just end up keeping both of them because I'm a hoarder, basically. Is what it seems like every time I make one of these videos. But it is this Saw game. I remember playing a demo for this a long time ago, whenever I ran out of, well, not that I ran out of games to play, but I only had, at the time, a handful of games on my 360, so I would just download random demos and play them, and or see what was free to play or anything like that. Like, I had a demo for shoot, what game was that? It was like one of the first games that came out on 360. I can't remember what it was, but I downloaded demos and I would play them all the time. I know I had a demo for like a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game and stuff like that, which I kind of wish I would have kept because they only released it digitally. They've never made a physical copy. It was called like Out of the Shadows or something like that. Anyways, I have the demo for this game, and I remember doing some of the traps. I think there was 2 traps in the demo, and they were crazy. Like the mechanics you had to do, like the one was the trap where the guy has a key like behind his eyeball, so you have to like wedge in there and dig it out, and it has like the controllers vibrating, and you have to like quick time the buttons and the way you're moving the control stick and stuff. I don't know, it was an interesting game. It's also made by Konami, so probably the same team that does Silent Hill probably worked on this game, which is also a reason why it's probably sought after. And there's also a sequel to this game, which I have it on PS3 but not the 360 version, and I believe that one's even harder to find, so hopefully I come across it. And then last but not least, this one also has a story to go with it, because of course it does. Every time I talk about anything I have to talk about an elaborate story. But this game, I found it at GameStop when I was looking for 360 stuff, when I started doing all the FOMO. And I found Tenchu, and I bought it. But this game was also in their drawer. Like, some of them, they don't have them out on the floor. They have them in the drawer behind the counter. And I saw that game, and I saw the price tag, and I was like, ooh, that's a bit steep. I don't really want to pay that. But I also didn't know what the game was worth either. So I was just like, I won't get it. I'll leave it. And then for whatever reason, while I was there, I didn't bother to look it up while I was in the store, and I don't know why. It just didn't dawn on me. I was just like, no, that's probably overpriced. I'm not buying that. And then I left. I went home, and I was watching some of these 360 videos. Sorry, I'm looking at my TV. Nobody else knows my TV's right there. It's right there. But I was watching some of these 360 videos and saw that game, and they're like, yeah, this one's extremely rare. And I was like, no, it's not. Right? No, it isn't. I just saw that game. And I think it was like the next day I texted, because I'm friends with the two managers at the GameStop that I go to, and I texted one of them. His name's Max, and I was like, "Hey Max, you still have that game?" And he's like, "Nope, it's gone." And I was like, "You gotta be kidding me!" The next day. So somebody else was in the same boat as me, going around getting all the good 360 stuff. And he's like, if another copy ever comes in, I'll let you know. And I was like, there's no way that out of the blue, there's no way I'm just going to randomly find another one. Because it's rare now. People are looking for this one. So I'm like, even if it does show up, like someone's going to buy it instantly, obviously, because it just happened to me. Text me the next day. He's like, hey, I have one at my other store. He's he does 2 different stores in the area. So he was at his other store, and he's like, hey, I just got one traded in here. I'm like, no shot. How did that happen? With how uncommon this game is, I don't understand how that happened. But I ended up getting my hands on it. I was just like, I will take it. I give it to me now. So I did end up getting it, and for all the suspense, it is Armored Core 4 Answer. I paid like 50 something. This is almost $100 game. It's like $90 game right here. And I thought that it was like, I'm trying to remember exactly. I think it was 55. And I thought that was way too high for a pre-owned game. That's like almost a new game. Usually GameStop prices are like a bit lower. So like the first thought in my mind was like, oh, that might be a little too expensive. I don't know why it's priced like that. So, because sometimes GameStop's prices are higher, a lot higher, or sometimes lower than like other retailers. Like even for Switch stuff, some stuff is like way higher than most other places have it, and vice versa. So I thought this was like way too expensive for 55, and I passed on it. And then here it was really expensive, and I just got super, super lucky. I don't have any other explanation. I just got really lucky. It is complete with the manual. And I know Armored Core has been getting really popular because of the new one being so good, and everybody being FromSoft fans now because of oh my god, blanking on the name, like Dark Souls, Elden Ring, all that stuff, all the FromSoft games, Sekiro. So there's people that just collect these just because they're made by FromSoft, no other reason. But obviously Armored Core is a great series, and the new one was really good, so made people want to go back and find the other ones. And I believe there's other Armored Core games on 360 and PS3 that are also really expensive and hard to find. So eventually I'd like to find those too if I can, but I would preferably not want to pay out the ass for them. So hopefully I can find them like I found this one at GameStop and get it for a really good deal. Because like I said, I'm also the pro member, so I got a little bit of I think it's like a 5% discount, which isn't much, but it's something. So I was very happy with that. And that concludes my giant hunt for Xbox 360 games. And I came out with a bunch of stuff, tons of stuff. And I'm very happy that I got a lot of this stuff way, way discounted than what these are going for right now. And I'm not done. I'm still going to keep hunting because there's at least 10 more. At least 10 more that I really, really want to have before it's too late, because I would sorely regret it if I don't get some of these, because I've been really wanting, even like I remember when I was playing 360 as a kid and I wanted some of these games, but again, it's just never on my mind that 360 games would be hard to get. I was just like, I'll get it eventually. I'll come across it. It's fine. And like an idiot, wait too long and FOMO kicks in, and then you can't find them at all. There was one in particular that a lot of people are talking about right now. It's called Fatal Inertia. It's a racing game, almost like a wave race, or not wave race. oh my gosh, Wipeout. It's almost like a Wipeout type game. And I was at a con and I had it in my hand. I almost bought it. It was like $15, but it didn't have the manual. The case was kind of chewed up a little bit. And I was like, nah, I don't really need that. Haven't seen a copy since. And it's like $80 online now. And I'm just like, that's one that I'm just like, just kicking myself over because I never bought it. So hopefully I can find it for cheap. Oh, and I wanted to show this. I completely forgot about that. Where I got the Simpsons game from, they had these really cool Game Crazy bags. Game Crazy Hollywood Video from back in the day. I'm keeping this. This is such a cool little souvenir. So I thought that was also really cool. I forgot I wanted to show that. I had it sitting over here next to me. So yeah, that is the video. If anybody else is collecting 360 or is going after 360 stuff, let me know. Let me know what you're looking for. I'm just curious what other people are trying to grab. I know there's a lot of other rare RPGs. Most of them I've got my hands on. Maybe I'll do a 360 collection video so I can kind of talk about them more. I know I've shown most of them in my pickups videos, but obviously not everybody watches through every pickup video, which I understand. So maybe I'll just do a full 360 collection, maybe do a two-parter, because I'll probably be like talking right now how I am now for 30 minutes and make it too long. So I'm gonna cut the video here so I don't make it like an hour. So if you like the video, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and until the next one, see ya.